Alright, next up on my movie talk weekend, me and my wife actually took the time to look at an oldie, as much as old as you can call it, and that movie is Total Recall. Now, from those who've watched, you guys know that I don't have a particular taste in sci-fi when it comes to space travel and when it comes to aliens and all that kind of shit. But I finally found out why I don't like that kind of stuff. And Total Recall helped me get there, because Total Recall is a sci-fi. You have your main character, Arnold Schwarzenegger, traveling from Earth to Mars, and you've got your own mutants, you've got your own inter-planet travel, but Total Recall I really liked. I really did. What I like in a sci-fi, what Total Recall does very well, and also what Gattaca does very well, Gattaca I also consider sci-fi, is they test human morality and the limits of what human like conscience, like morals and thought. That's what really impresses me about sci-fi. It's not just about having big hulking fucking ships in space with a bunch of aliens who are basically humanoid but not really human. But no, I like a sci-fi that puts in the effort to make you think. And it's the reason why I like this a lot more is because compared to the other tropes that I listed out about sci-fi, it's as if you compare it to the good and bad of, say, fantasy. I like a fantasy that does make me think, to make me question where I as a human in the modern setting, you know, have morals to reflect and think upon. I can also be very tired and very snarky about shitty fantasy, like Aragon. Because when you throw in the tropes, when you throw in elves and dwarves, that's what really can turn me off of appreciating a movie. Just because you have that shit in there doesn't make me interested. And that is what I don't like in sci-fi. It's because of aliens, spaceship, space. It's basically fantasy in the obviously fantasy in the future. But if you can see where I'm going here, you have two equal sides now, or I do at least. I don't know what you think. But Total Recall, the Arnold Schwarzenegger version, not that fucking remake. Please pay attention to the original work here, people. But the original Total Recall is a very proper conscious question to ask what would happen if we were able to control our memories. And just the idea of the company, Total Recall, is amazing because everything that we experience and feel and function as a human is based off of our senses that go to the brain. If our brain can automatically be changed, like by scientific measure, to remember itself, to literally imagine itself in those situations, and to cause the body to feel what it thought it felt in the memory of the vacation on Mars, or, you know, this and that. Like, that future where we can actually pay for trips in the comfort of our own home, and, like, really paint that on our mind, really convince us that we were there, but we weren't. That's the question. That's where the question comes in mind. Like, if we could control our memories, what becomes real and what becomes false? Because if we felt like we were there, if we saw that we were there, if we could even taste that we were there at a certain event in time, was it real? According to Total Recall, we were in a chair the whole time, though. Again, that's what I love about thinking very deep about these movies, and that's what I really liked about Total Recall. I also appreciate very well how being able to control someone's memories also controls who they are. Again, that was a bit more obvious, but the memory, like being able to work with memory and being able to literally create and destroy people in an instant, like, that was fascinating to me. And that's what should be fascinating to you. As far as the remake goes, it's regurgitating what was already said. It was already done, and it's probably been done better by Arnold Schwarzenegger even. And that's hard to say, because no one could understand the guy sometimes, but come on, it's Arnold! And maybe I'm just a sucker for older movies. Maybe I really hate remakes. But as far as the old Total Recall goes, it's a fascinating idea. And it's an exciting movie, and it has its good parts. So, if you're gonna watch one of the Total Recall movies, I would suggest going for the Arnold Schwarzenegger version. And again, I'm not hating sci-fi, but I hope that other creators out there please make it worth my while.